So when I was coming home from the pick yard, right, I started thinking to myself. I said, I'm able to, the pick yard basically a gold mine, right? And I said it to say I ain't even talking about from how much money they make, right, off of junk cars and stuff like that, right? And the parts they selling parts, right? And on top of getting scrap metal as well, also recycling the whole car. Like I ain't even, all right. We don't get on. We ain't gonna get to that. What I was thinking, because I'm like, dang, right? What? Anyways, I'm thinking to myself. I said, dang, because I had to go get those parts, right? You might be tracking the other videos if it's your first time seeing what I'm doing, right? I'm saying that to say because I got to get this porch up and running, right? So I can get this porch up and running so I can get a new inspection of it so I can rebuild the title, okay? Only way that can happen is you got to actually fix what the issue was that caused the title to become a salvage title, okay? So that being said it's like a win-win for me, right? So I'm going to turn wrenches. I get the car for little or nothing, right? And I can go turn wrenches on the car and fix the car, right? Because I know how to diagnose it, figure out what the issue is. Once I know what the issue is, then I'm able to go get parts to help it run, right? And I'm not saying I'm going to keep those parts on there, right? Again, we got to look at it from the standpoint of I got to get it to run so then I can get the title rebuilt. Other than that, after that, then I can go and spend money, on newer parts. But I said that to say, I was thinking to myself, coming back home, I said, there may be somebody in the comments one day that says, hey, Huff, why you don't offer I guess you could say the services of going to retrieve parts, used parts, to fix people's cars when you find out what the issue is, right? Say for instance, we say for instance, right, like my dad's valve cover was leaking, or his PCV on his valve cover, which is the same car I got, right? The PCV used to go out, the positive crankcase valve used to go out on those Porsches, but they are in the diaphragm of the valve cover. Okay, so since they're in the valve cover, you got to take out the whole intake manifold, right, and then remove the valve cover, and then you'll see the PCV at the back of it. However, when they sell those pieces, they sell the whole valve cover as one piece, right? So you're spending, to $100 some for a new valve cover, which you might not even need a valve cover. You might not have no damage to the valve cover, like my car has fire burn to the valve cover, so it's a little bit different. However, you may just need to replace the gasket. You might not even need to replace the valve cover, but the PCV is what needs to be replaced. But since it's on the diaphragm or built into the valve cover, you got to replace the whole valve cover. Okay, that's how they job security. All right, making money. Okay, so I said it to say I'm gonna use that example. I can go get that valve cover like I got today. I got the valve cover I think for like $15, right? And nothing may be wrong with the PCV. And it's not like the PCV is going to cause the car not to run, right? If I just put it on there now, it's not going to cause it to run. Now it's different if years down the line I got a bad PCV that consistently build up emission or back pressure on the valve cover, which is going to do the same thing it did in my dad's car, to where the back pressure got so bad to the point to where now you're causing your gasket to have blow by or whatever, right? So it wasn't intended to keep all of that back pressure or blow by, whatever it is, right? I have to do your research. Pressure, the PSI. It wasn't, the gasket is not made to hold down the valve cover is not made to hold down that much PSI, right? So because the PSI is not supposed to be there, okay? So that being said, then that causes you to have valve cover leak, right? Which you have oil coming down the side of your engine, okay? And then oil getting into other places it's not supposed to get, okay? So that's when you grow a bigger problem. However, all right, damn, let's go back. However, the goal is, or in military terms, I need to get mission capable, as in fully mission capable, not 1020 standard. I don't have to get it showroom ready, right? I don't have to get it car show ready. I just need to get it running, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I was coming back and I said, dang, I got all these parts for a good price, right? Because I did all my research and all the new parts, all the parts on eBay. These same places they get it from the Pickyard. They go and remove it from the Pickyard, and they selling these parts. Crazy work. I go get it myself, my boy. But I'm saying that to say, the whole topic was, why don't you offer those type of services, right? From a mechanic standpoint or a technician standpoint, whatever you want to call it. I would say, when I was thinking, I said, "Hey, I get it. Why we don't, why I don't offer that specific service, is because of the fact that, I do offer that service. Let me say it like this: why I'm not so eager to give you that option, because I understand a lot of clients don't have a lot of understanding in how some of this stuff works. In a sense of, they'll try to blame you because of what bad situation they in. They'll try to blame you because you gave them the option to choose, right? To say, hey, instead of going to get that new aftermarket part for one, you can go get this OEM part from the Pickyard, probably 1/3 of that aftermarket price, and probably, I'd say, 1/8, or 1/8 of the doggone OEM part, right? So I got the valve cover for $17. OEM probably costs you $150. Aftermarket probably costs you $110. I'm just saying, you do the math, all right? But again, you got to gamble, because who's to say that used part doesn't have damage? Who's to say that used part PCV is going to work, right? But I'm okay with taking that gamble, because I can always go get another one if I need to. So I say that to say, the reason why I'm not so eager to offer that to everybody, right, or that be an option that I tell everybody off the rip, like, hey man, no, let's go get this from the Pickyard. You can meet me over there. Just pay me half the labor price to get that removed for you in the Pickyard, and then you still got to pay the labor price of me actually assembling or putting it on for you, right? But then I think about it, I said, well, they might not want to do that. They might not want to pay double labor, right? Which it won't be double labor. I'm not going to charge you $100 to put it on. What, $100 to take it off at the Pickyard, $100 to put it on, right? I'm not going to charge you that. I'll probably charge you $50 to take it off, okay? All right, and then $100 to put it on. So then the total labor will be like $150, right? I'm just using that example. All right. So I say that to say that I had to kind of back off dealing with some clients, and I'm not saying the ones I dealt with that I have not offered that to, right? I'm not talking about you, okay? I'm just saying, I've seen other videos, I've seen or I've had direct contact with somebody that I've offered stuff to before, and they take advantage of you, your kindness. All right, so I say that to say, I'm putting it out that I do offer that service. However, you do have to have understanding of, it's not a new part. So if it's a new part, right, coming straight from the manufacturer, okay, and you buy that part from that manufacturer, of course I can warranty that job, because of the fact that it's like, hey, if that part doesn't work, all we're just gonna do is take it off. You gonna send it back, get another one, and we're gonna put it back on, right? If I source the part to you, right? But if you go buy the part, right, then you would have to then go and buy that part, in a sense. You would have to pay double labor, because then you had to pay me again to remove the part that doesn't work. Again, not my fault. Doesn't work for you to be able to send it back, and then had to pay labor again to put it back on, right? So I understand how all that is a headache, especially if you're not doing it yourself, right? So that's why I kind of try to offer people, let me help source the part, because if I source the part, then I can warranty it, right? Because I'm the one put my name behind it, saying, hey, look, this is coming from AutoZone, okay? I get it. Some people don't like AutoZone. Right? That's not the point of the conversation. So I might say it come from O'Reilly, it might come from AutoZone, and if it end up being a defective part, okay, that will be on me, in a sense of, yes, we are getting it from them, but I suggested this store, right? So when you get that part, you won't be charging. I won't be charging labor again to remove the part, right? And then put the next one on, because that's the warranty job, right? Or that would be my warranty. Let me say it like that. Everybody warranty is different, but that's my warranty, right? That's what I come with when I come to do the job, because I come to do it one time. That's why I'm coming to diagnose it, to tell you I know what the heck going on, and I'm coming to repair it once I find out what's going on, right? Once I find out what's going on, give you the options of how we can go forward. You choose whether or not you want to go forward with the option, and then I'm able to help you source that. So then we can go with, hey, what's reasonable labor? Okay, you win, I win. All right. And then also my name. Okay, just you ain't about to be throwing dirt on my name. I know I'm good at what I do. Right, I understand what I do. I'm good at what I do, and I'll continue to grow in what I do. So at the end of the day, I ain't worried about that. My point is, I did slow down offering that. Now I'm just saying, now I am putting it out there, but that is an option. That's a viable option. I'm telling you, because I know, because I have all my cars where I have everything running from the pick yard, because I understand it's a gold mine. Because again, every car that goes down in the pick yard or the salvage yard or the pull yard or whatever you call it, from wherever you from, they don't all go down the same reason. One car may go down because of an accident, right? Rear end accident, ain't got nothing to do with the engine. That's a good engine, good transmission. All right. Another one may go down because the engine ain't got nothing to do with the interior parts or the rear end, or suspension system or control arms. All that. So it's a lot of stuff you can get. I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff you can get. And I'm not saying that to take away business from the brick and mortar stores and all that, but I'm just telling you that could be a viable option, right? When you find yourself in a situation like, man, what can I do? Where can I get these parts from? These parts cause an arm and a leg. They trying to make me basically sell a kidney just to get the car fixed these days. And I said it, say that to say, when you reach out to me, like, have that understanding. So when I offer it to you, right? Or if you suggest that because you seen my video, or you see that I do offer those type of services as well too, have that understanding that if you decide to go with the pick yard, okay, that means you are gambling 50-50, because not all parts may work in a sense, right? And I'm saying that to say, then you take on the gamble of labor, right? You take on the gamble of that. So then, right, in the warranty, I can't warranty you a part from the pick yard, right? So then don't try to throw my name under the bus. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I did step away from offering those services, because of the fact, or slow it down, let me say it like that. Because of the fact that it's like, well, some clients, I noticed that, they would take your kindness for weakness. All these videos I've been saying and stuff, I do not want to be in a lot of those situations. So it's like, look, you know what? Cool. I ain't gonna offer you that service, because I already see that you are not gonna even be reasonable, right? It goes back to what I said, that if you're difficult to deal with, I'm gonna just adios amigo. I don't need you, so we good. So I love doing this. That's the difference. I love doing this, but I ain't got to do it for you. All right. So that's why I'm blessed to be in the situation I'm in, to where I'm able to do it over here, to where I don't have to. I can be picky. Okay, just going back to that, I can be picky what I do or how I move. Okay, but I'm just saying it to say, I do offer these services. So if you do find yourself in a predicament to where you can find you something at a pick yard that's probably near you, if in the surrounding area that I'm in, and we negotiate and we pick a date and time and labor price and all that type of stuff to make it make sense. And also too, you run that past me, right, as a viable option. I can help you. Then kind of like, hey, yeah, let's choose this, or matter of fact, let's go to another one in that same location, right? Because of reputation and all that type of stuff. Then we can go from there. But again, that does not mean that since I helped you find the pick yard, right? That I'm then going to warranty the parts that come from the junkyard, salvage yard, pick yard, pull yard, whatever you call it. All right, but they're all used parts. All right. But I'm up out of here. I just wanted to say that because I just got back and I was on the road, and of course I didn't want to film while I was driving and stuff, you know. So I didn't want to do that. So I was all right. I'll wait till I head back to the office. Then I'll make that video since it's on my mind that I do offer those services. Hit me up now. Again, you got my contact information. All right. Oh, stay tuned. I'm gonna get that Porsche running. I'm gonna show you. I got it running with pick yard parts, junkyard parts, salvage parts, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. You gonna see that I'm gonna get it running, right? And I'm gonna pass that inspection, okay? And then we can go from there. All right. So you let me know. All right, we're up out of here. Over and out.